I just realized it says it's starting now, so we should do that, right? Hey everyone, and welcome. There we go. Welcome to the stream. Let's make that a little bit quieter here. Thank you. Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. It's been a while. Well, at least no stream last week. Was a little bit busy with other stuff, but here we go again, and we are coming back to more stuff. In the next week or the couple of the next 2 weeks, a bunch of releases and Black Friday coming around. So hold your horses and explain to your wives why you need to put aside some money. Or to your husband, doesn't matter. Anyway, let's dive in. Hey Stanislav, hey Russia. That's cool. Guess it's already quite cold up there. It wasn't too warm here today either. Winter is coming, you know. So what are we gonna do today? We are going to take a look at 8Dio's latest adventure, sonic venture. It's a thing called Soundpaint. Brand new, well, not brand new. I think so. Trolls Foreman is the head of 8Dio. And I think the first time he posted about Soundpaint was like 2.5 years ago already. So it's been in development for quite a while. But finally, yesterday, it was released to the public. And so first cool thing is, no matter what you decide to look into it, this thing, the engine and a piano is free. So there's also no giveaway today, obviously, because you can just head over there and get it for free, which is pretty cool and awesome. Let me jump screens here so we can take a closer look, which we should be able to do now. Soundpaint, no, not this. The website is soundpaint.com. All you gotta do, if you want to try it out yourself, is head over there, create an account, and you can download the new instrument, the Soundpaint instrument. We will talk about what the new instrument actually is. So, long story short, it's a new sample player, kind of like Contact, but also way different. So we will look at that. And you get a full piano library, the 8Dio 1928 Vintage Grand Steinway, for free. It's a 7 GB piano library. So, there's an issue with unpacking on the Mac, but you can fix that with you. Yeah. There's a lot of talk in VI control, and also Soundpaint has its own dedicated Discord server, which you can also join. They are very good. Seems like I have to admit that, or have to say that 8Dio have stepped up their game in terms of customer feedback and getting bug reports, etc. So they use a Discord server for that, which is pretty awesome. That's pretty cool. I think that is it linked on the website? Would make sense to put a Discord link like right down here. But anyway, so let's turn the music off here. Quiet. Okay, so Soundpaint. I posted the website. There is no giveaway today. You can get a rabbit for free. That's what I said. And without further ado, let's actually just jump straight in and open it up and see what it can do, what it sounds like. Little disclaimer in the front. This is not sponsored by 8Dio. So I bought this thing and a bunch of the libraries. Actually, I just... the only library I didn't buy was the brass one that just didn't tick with me from his walkthrough. But all the other ones I got. So we have plenty of stuff to cover and to look at today. And yeah, it's a unbiased report because I paid my own money for it. So let's jump into Cubase here. Hey Ramco, nice to see you. Let's add Soundpaint as an instrument. Bam! Already done. That was fast. So this is what it looks like. Quick little thing if you work on 4K stream on 4K monitors, and especially Cubase and I think Fruity Loops and other softwares have a little bit of trouble with that, with displaying 4K. The interface is fully scalable to whatever you like, but there's a little bug inside a lot of DAWs. If you want to resize it and move your mouse to the bottom right here to make it bigger, you get this effect, which kind of sucks. What you need to do is you need to grab the inside of the window and not the outside of the window, and then you can resize to any size you like. So that works pretty well even within Cubase or other DAWs that have a problem with 4K display. And there are still a lot of plugins that have problems with high DPI settings, looking at your waves. And others like Sound Toys. And anyway, so this is what it looks like. Soundpaint. I don't want to even go in there and like explain. You can watch the videos on the Soundpaint website where they go in much more detail what the engine can do and what it does. And from my understanding, as I've been working with samples for the past 15 years, pretty much, since I started this journey being a composer, what it is a sample player that utilizes a new audio format. So we know that Kontakt uses like WAV files or their own format, the NCW files. And this also uses audio files, so it's a sampler that plays back audio files, but they developed a new format that allows them, at least that's the claim that they have, to morph between the different velocity layers to give you technically 127 different velocity layers per key, because it's not physical modeling, it's like sampling on steroids with some physical modeling techniques applied. I'm not so technical versed to really go into the details of explanation there, but it also doesn't really matter how they do. The question is, how does it sound? So, as I mentioned before, you get a full-blown 7 gigabytes piano library and this full player for free, which is pretty cool. So, nothing to lose there. So you can dive in and check it out. And we will explore a little more in the course of the stream. Let me know if the visuals are good enough, if you can read everything. I can scale this, as I just mentioned, so I can make that bigger, and I can also make the font bigger, for example, in the menu here, so you can scale that up. It's pretty cool. It's very, very user-friendly, and if you're visually impaired, you can really pump it up. So that is very, very cool. Very inclusive. I like that. So the program name font is that thing up here, and the part name font, we cannot see that right now because we haven't the part loaded. Is it just for 8Ds library? Technically, yes. Maybe later down the line, they will open that up for other developers as well to develop for that platform. But right now, they have 5 libraries available, I think. 5 or 6. So the piano, the 808, the guitar library, hybrid cinema, sound effects, and 2 synth libraries. That's the stuff. But it's still already sitting at 250 gigabytes, something like that. And the brass, which I didn't get. So let's start with the free piano. So these are the presets. I think you have most of these presets when you get the piano library for free. Some of these presets utilize other sounds from the other sound libraries, so be aware that some of the stuff may not be accessible for you if you only have the free piano. And yes, there's a lot of future plans for the platform, and in 2022, Troll said, like Bernie just mentioned in the chat, Troll said that they will open up to be able to import your own samples. Critique Dart, sorry, my French is way worse than your ability to understand English, so I will stick to that. But yes, pretty much Soundpaint is a new sampler. It's a new sampler, and right now it's only working with libraries that ADIO have created for this format. So the engine, the sampler, I think it's easiest to say it's like Contact, but with more features. But I think it's kind of wrong to say it's like Contact because it's not. Anyway, so let's load just the main piano patch. Where was it? Main cinematic, for example. Main vintage, sustain, reverse, main octaves, main cinematic. There we go. By the way, that's it. It was like 2 seconds and it loaded. Uses 98 megabytes of RAM. So let's play this thing for a second and see how it sounds like. First thing I noticed when I opened the whole thing is there are 2 things that I feel are missing. First thing is like a keyboard to give you a visual reference what keys are actually occupied by the samples. That makes even more sense later down the line when you look into the other libraries. And the second is I'm really missing like an output LED, something that gives you an indication of how much volume you're sending out to the world. Because it kind of is a little distracting that I need to have an extra channel in the DAW open to see what volume the patch is using. So, but yeah, again, this piano is free. It's... And it... One thing that you can transfer through a stream is the playability. And I mean, they hyped it a lot with these like 127 velocity layers, etc. I mean, I'm not feeling like these. It is very responsive. That's, I have to say. And is it 127? I don't know. But the playability, the feel when you play it is really good. May need to adjust the curve on my keyboard a little bit. I think I had it on hard right now. And we will explore some of all these features down here a little later down the line. But one thing that I definitely want to look at is the touch. I wanted to find out if there's a way to limit the velocity range, for example, if you just want to have the lower velocity layers of the keyboard. You have velocity curves available for sure. Okay, that gives you like only 64. So that makes a lot of sense. And the other way around, you can have louder notes on softer velocities. It's actually extremely responsive. So I'm hitting very soft, but it already gives me loud notes. I think this one is pretty cool. But like this, hitting it really hard suddenly jumps up. That's not a fault of the library, but of my playing, obviously. So I wonder if there's a possibility to limit the range, say not go all the way to 127, but maybe limit the key range or the velocity range to only play until 100 or something. Ellen, sneaky little thing you. Over the course of working on it, obviously I will post some stuff that's coming, but poco a poco. So I think before I bought any other stuff from their catalog, the first patch that I actually opened was like an ARP patch. I think it was this one. That was the very first patch when I got the free piano and played it. Wait, hold a note. Look, Ma, no hands. I actually like that a lot. I mean, it's a piano run through an ARP, so we get that. What I like is how fast it loads. So, main 2 microphones. That one, for example, does not have these poking out notes. I would put a master here. A lot of these patches, especially on the piano, I found to be quite quiet. And when we check the, right now we have 2 parts. So, I mean, we will talk about all the morphing things and the stuff that Trolls also shows in the videos later down the line. But overall, you see these 4 slots. So technically you have 4 sound sources that you can mix and mangle, or 2 at the same time up here. So we have the piano 1928 sustain and the sustain player mic. So when we bring this to the same volume, turn that off. So this is just the player mic. and this is the other one. And it's kind of like, I feel like this is just another way of using different mic positions, right? So you can mix the two positions depending on what sound you prefer. So then we will look into the Rec A and Rec B in a little bit. I think that Rec A, I haven't watched the video that Trolls did on Recs. Again, this is like exploring Soundpaint, so I'm exploring it kind of at the same time as you do, so that's why I decided to do that live stream. So I haven't really looked deep into it, so let's explore it together, right? So Rec AB, I have to look that up a little more in detail, but the effects. Let's talk about the effects. So that's something I played with before. And the effects, in my opinion, in this thing are awesome. And remember, the player is free. So even with a piano, you can tweak quite a lot. And they have the philosophy of having this player like modular, inspired by analog design. So you can mix and mangle and match in whatever kind of way you prefer. And so you can drag around the effects. You can put the EQ before the verb, for example. I mean, this is nothing absolutely new, but the sound quality of the effects is also really, really good. So when we turn the EQ off, that's the dry signal. Okay, let's check, for example, some of the reverbs. There is a digital, grain, Lexi. Let's check the Lexi reverb. The room, give a little bit more time. Mix 50%. Okay, let's keep it at that. There's a little bit of an 80s vibe, which I actually really like. More time, more size. Spread a little. And maybe give it a little high end. Pretty cool. And they also have a shimmer reverb, kind of emulation of Blue Sky, Big Sky, not Blue Sky. Again, all of that comes for free, which I find is a pretty generous offer. So you can't really lose on that. It seems very CPU friendly overall, at least with the piano patches. There are some in the other libraries that utilize a little more. I think it depends on how many effects you slam onto it. So they have a bunch of delays, bucket brigade. Really like the delay here. We have vintage chorus. Xenos, for sure I can check if there's a bad sample or something. We'll look at that in a second. You have to keep in mind, I mean, they have been working on that very, very long, but this thing has been released yesterday. There will be kinks, there will be bugs, and everything will be ironed out. I had a problem with one of my downloads actually today. So my download of not hybrid cinema, of the sound effects was actually incomplete because I just got the first one, the second one. And quick chat with a support today, 5 minutes later, my download was running. So they're extremely into listening to customer feedback and helping you out, especially given that they're just on the second day of release. So I think they are slammed with customer requests. Especially also there was a bug with Mac downloads where it didn't unpack, which as far as I know has been solved now. I'm on a PC luckily, so I didn't have any problems at all. The downloader has been hassle-free for me. Downloaded, installed, done. Before I actually did that, I did set the library path to a custom folder before I actually downloaded anything, because I read in some forums before that downloaded to like your documents folder in C, and a lot of people don't have much space there. So first thing when I opened the engine was to set the download folder, and it flawlessly installed everything into this folder. So on my end, all good experience with the installation process. But sure, so that took me a while to figure out. With that little X up here, you can initialize the preset. So like, just get rid of everything and start with an empty slate. So, and what do you ask if you use part piano 1928 sustain, piano 1928 sustain? So the programs are actually presets that are made of several parts for the most case, and the parts is the actual individual components that you can put into these 4 slots. So G3, G sharp. It's very quiet. I mean, there's like a little noise in there. Nothing that I would worry too much about. But yeah, I'm pretty sure anything that comes up in the next couple of weeks, and I mean, they have a big team of beta testers, etc. But if you are a software developer or any kind of developer, you know that no beta team is large enough to cover every possible scenario. So as soon as you release it into the world, you will get reports back from stuff that doesn't work, didn't work, crashes, etc. So if there is a bad sample in there, I'm pretty sure they will fix that very, very soon. So you said velocity 9 on this one. Can't hear the bad sample here. Is that G3? No, that's G4. Okay, so the engine kind of interprets the MIDI range differently. I don't hear any issues with that right now. Anyway, well, what I said, and I have to say, again, I bought the other libraries that we're looking at today, so this is not sponsored by ID or anything. I'm giving my impression here. This whole thing and the piano library is free. I think you can't complain on that part. And if there is an issue with any of the samples or something, they will likely jump on fixing it. At least that's what I think. Can complain for a free horse, right? So, effects. We have a bunch of delay. We have quite a bit of distortion effects, EQ, 5 and 10 bands. We have analog modeled filtering, ladder filter, and variable filters. 5 different reverb settings, bit brush. I guess that's more like bit crush. I don't know if that's a spelling. No, I think they intentionally named it like that. Just don't know why I don't hear anything. Am I? Yes. Oh, the bit crusher is working. That's why. Yeah, sample rate is 0. So the bit crusher is obviously working. Chorus Winch, we just had that. There's a nice LA. I love that icon for the compressor. That was quite funny. I have a piano preset for the compressor. Let's load that. Definitely reduces the overall dynamic range quite significantly. That cries for a nice 80s reverb. But let's check the grain. What does the grain do? That's funny. So yeah, there's just so much to discover in this. And we are still just looking at the free piano library, which is cool, kind of. You could change the routing, just the phaser first. And you have a full-blown modulation matrix, which is also pretty cool. Let's say we want to modulate on the phaser, want to modulate the feedback. You right-click, you could put it, for example, put MIDI-CC on the mod wheel, but they also have 4 different LFOs, so low-frequency oscillators. In case you don't know or not familiar with synth speech, low-frequency oscillators are signals that send out a control voltage, and you can control pretty much any other parameter. Instead of manually riding the volume knob up and down, you can put that low frequency oscillator onto that volume, and it will, like in this case with this shape, will go up and down and move the fader or the knob for you, so you don't have to do it, like you can see down here. So instead of going up and down manually, you can put an LFO on a parameter to control it. So let's click OK here. So now you see feedback is controlled. And therefore you can create movement in sounds without using your hands to manually control these parameters. And that sounds like we could use a delay afterwards. Let's go with rain, random drop. And that's true analog delay behavior. So when you lengthen the delay time, the pitch goes down. Actually, that's kind of like tape delay effect. But let's use another one. Let's use the scat. You have a reverse. Let's modulate that a little bit and put it into stereo. Very experimental. Let's go with a classic bucket brigade delay. Synced note rate. Let's do 8th dotted. A little bit of feedback. Maybe do ping pong. Feedback. Little less mix on this one. Feedback down. Where? Oh, here's the mix. Okay. And then put a reverb afterwards. Reverb. Let's go with a plate. And technically, we could put the reverb time onto the LFO as well. But this time, I don't want to affect the whole range, but just a little bit. So I can reduce the range, how much it affects the knob. So see. And let's, for the sake of doing this, let's add the player mic here. A little quieter. Turn that off. Okay, I don't like the phaser here. Let's turn that off for now. By the way, if we look at the disk usage, watch your ears. Okay, goes up to 80. But overall, I feel, or I think it's pretty CPU friendly. I mean, given I'm running a 9900K at 3.6, I think. What do you have under sound effects? Yeah, we will look at that in a second. So these are the other libraries that are available right now. The piano comes with staccato and sustain. notes, so you can, let's initialize the patch here quickly again. So you could layer sustain and staccato for, I think, a little more bite on the attack. Again, something that doesn't translate in stream. The just loading that part without any effect or anything, the playability, the haptic feedback that you get from the piano, I feel that it is a little different than just static samples. I think it's pretty cool. And again, it's friggin' free. So even if you don't like it, later down the line, if they really implement like the ability to load your own samples or process your own samples to be available in the Soundpaint format, that will be pretty rad. So that's cool. But obviously it goes a lot further. If you look into their other offerings, so they obviously need to earn some money as well. So they have libraries available that you can buy. Right now, starting with the drums, they have a deeps. UDS, by the way, stands for Ultra Deep Sampling. If you want to know more about that, I really suggest to watch Troll's videos and the Soundpaint YouTube channel. There's a bunch of information on that. I personally think that I really like the pricing policy. First of all, never sales, no bundle deals. So the only thing, you can buy the full package in a bundle right now and you save like $10. And it was a little bit misleading in the description, like offers full of the entire Soundpaint instrument collection, but it only refers to the currently available instruments. So once they add more, the bundle price will go up as well. I assume later down the line, the bundle will always be like $5 or $10 cheaper, but you can also decide to go with individual titles and add on later. I really like that because you just don't lose anything if you don't go for an intro price or a bundle or whatever. That's the cost. It is what it is, will not change. Maybe later down the line, but for now, they claim it's never on sale. And so yeah, the drums is $30. That's pretty good. And let's take a quick listen to this 808, what they did with that. So let's reinitialize everything here. And I don't want to see that again. So there we go. Discord changes. So drum, Orange 808 UDS Ultra Deep Sampling. Bunch of presets here, so let's start. I think I need to put the volume down on this one a little. It was quite on the upper end, if I remember correctly. Checked out one of these patches. I just forgot the name. Actually, you can heart patches, and then they will show up in your favorite list later down the line. I will have to do that. There was one patch that I checked out that was holy cow, I just saw that was the most slapping 808 snare that I have ever heard. But yeah, let's check more. If, for example, you don't like the distortion or anything, you can just turn it down a little bit. There we go, classic 808 territory. We will look into morphing in a little bit later down the line. I am not claiming that I have fully understood, that I already fully understand what this really can do, and let's explore that together in a little bit. So classic 808 sounds, but the UDS means ultra deep sampled. They have a bunch of different sound options. If you look at the parts for the drums, this is all the different main master out, main accent, main individual out. So, and Trolls explained that pretty nicely in his video about that. And then you also have different analog chains that they ran the signal through. I think the snappy one was the one that I... Let's turn that up a little. I like that a lot. It's pretty cool. Warm oomph? No, that was the one. The warm oomph. Okay, that was the preset I really liked a lot. That's pretty cool. So yeah, $30 gives you a bunch of 808 sounds, and later down the line, I try to look into the possibilities that you can also combine a lot of these sounds within each other. So you can layer 808 kick underneath a bass, for example. Let's quickly check out the guitar. I bought this one as well. It's $20 as well. So let's quickly check some of the presets here. Guitar, 1975 Jazz. Okay, I mean, since you're talking about the morphing all the time, let's quickly see if I understand it correctly, actually, as well. So let's load the piano. Let's go to the parts here. Let's load the piano sustain, regular sustain, right? And then let's take the guitar and load it into the other patch. So if I mute this, obviously we get the guitar. That's the piano. So if I have both activated, we hear both at the same time. That's no morphing at all. So, and what morphing actually, as far as I understand, should do is if you, for example, morph from the piano to the guitar, it plays the guitar with the sound features of the piano. Why is it, what? Why is it playing a cymbal there? So, like guitar sound morphing into a piano sound. Same the other way around. So you can play. If I turn morphing off, what you're hearing is actually the piano, but it's morphed or influenced by the sound of the guitar. When we listen to the guitar on its own, it sounds like this. No, that is the same thing, isn't it? Oh, morph was off. We heard just the guitar. So morph all the way, then we play a piano that sounds like guitar, or is influenced by the sound of the guitar. So when we turn morph off, just the piano. Morph on with the guitar. So I wouldn't consider it the same as like mixing or matching sounds. It's not like you layer these two sounds on top of each other. It seems to me like there's a frequency analysis going on with the source sound, kind of like a vocoder effect. And that changes the behavior of the original sample. And depending on what you feed it with, you get various results. We can actually prove that. So when we go to the sound effects, let's use some country noises here. No, not country noises. So let's use some rain or something. Summer rain. Okay. So let's listen to that on its own. So when we turn the piano on, morph the summer rain to the piano. No morphing at all. And now I'm morphing. So that sound is changing the behavior of this one. Vice versa, when I play the rain, but influenced by the piano. I mean, right now with this example, usability of that may be arguable, but I can't see where it makes sense like we just did with the guitar. When we have just that guitar here, morph the guitar to the piano 100%, you just get a very different piano tone versus the original piano, which was this. So when we morph it, the guitar fully morphs the piano sound. And it's not like put on top of each other. It's way different. So that's the original sound from the guitar. And this is the piano sound with the guitar kind of put on top. And you hear some artifacts in the samples there. What happens when we change the tone? So when we bring that down -12, for example, the guitar now sounds like this. When we morph that, I feel like you can really create very, very, very different sounds. I can imagine it takes a lot of experimenting, and I would really love for the team at Soundpaint, when you have these instruments, when you buy all the instruments, and especially when the library grows over time with strings and all the other stuff that is coming, to give more examples of so more presets that actually use the morph feature. You can sort the programs here. You can look at programs that use the morph feature. So all these programs that are yellow are using this morphing feature between different sounds. So in the Steinway, for example, we have that rain preset. I actually like that a lot. And you can see the matrix here, so this is modulated. Morph amount, wordplay, alpha, delay, rain, wet, dry. No, where is the morph amount? Here we go. So let's turn the frequency down a little on this one. Yeah. Let's quickly turn the effects off to hear it a little more pronounced, what this is doing. So right now, I think what it's lacking a little bit is like sound sources. So they just need to release way more stuff. I can really see where this gets interesting when you put like plugged instruments like we just did with the guitar together with the piano. That, in my opinion, would make a lot of sense to get different sonic results out of that. Let's dig a little deeper into other libraries that I got. So we have, let's not use the morph instruments. So let's check some more of the guitar presets. I think there is not much. By the way, also the load time is really good. I like that. It's very, very fast and snappy. mean, to be honest, a lot of these sounds and the presets rely on how much effects you slam onto them, and sometimes when the effects like take a place where it doesn't really matter what source material you put underneath because you don't recognize it anyway with all the delay and reverb tails and everything going on. I mean, of course, yes, every other instrument can that do as well. Let's go back to the rack a little and discover some more of the options. For example, if you want to have that instrument monotimbral, just select this. Pitch bend is right now set to just half a note. Anyway, so that's the guitar. Let's look at hybrid cinema. Hybrid cinema is... you have done quite a bit of libraries that focus on like emotions and emotional guitars. I think they did a while ago. So this is the same thing, hybrid instruments focusing on emotions. Let's go with the main instruments here. One click, loaded, done. Which you can see, again, I'm missing a keyboard on this thing so that you see what keys are actually utilized. So starting on C1, you have like impacts. One thing that I don't like about the hybrid emotion thing is I watched the video that Trolls did and said, yeah, you have drones and stuff in different keys right away. But you have no friggin' idea what key it is, you know? So you have to fumble around, and especially with some of these drones are very ambiguous. You can't really tell, is it D minor or a G minor or what exactly is it? So a little info window down here when you press a key, that gives you the information, okay, that is like E minor at the core of the sound. Will be helpful in a long way to make more use out of that. Right now it's more like when you have a written track and want to bring in like a drone or soundscape or something. I mean, from that you can obviously get the key, but... So the usual approach will be to, let's duplicate this, just to have a piano here. Preset, give me a piano. I'd like to have a piano, please. Hello, do you have a piano? Gracias. Main, cinematic, don't care. Okay, so now I am able to find out what key we're in. So hitting a key here. So for example, that drone. Okay, sounds like D minor. And meanwhile, I have forgotten which key I actually pressed. And it doesn't tell me. Thank you. So that seems like D minor as well. But yeah, so I get the fact that it's about emotion, etc. But in a musical sense, it will make way more sense to know what key these samples are in to make working with them a little more easy. Let's check. I mean, you can get there, it's just a hassle that I feel a developer should not give you as a composer working with that. It's about, and Trill said that himself, he wants to concentrate on making music and just getting the stuff out there and from fingers to DAW kind of like, and not thinking about setting everything up, which I get, but this stands in the way kind of. Not with the atonal effects, but with the tonal stuff. Yeah, pretty much like Keep Forest is doing. So when you have these type of sounds, just give me a friggin' C to B key range that tunes the sounds to the corresponding key range. Or to the corresponding key that the song is in that I want. If I hit an E down here in the lower octave, just give me E minor or E major on the drones. Zaharu, yes, it shows which note you're playing, but it does not show what key that note is in. Say this. And some of these sounds are very ambiguous, right? Again, D, but not really. It's not really D. So if I go. I mean, there's a little bit of a slide in there. So, based on my experience with most of their libraries, like the Hybrid Tool series and also their auras, most of their stuff is actually like in C minor or D minor. But that is no excuse to not disclose. Include that. That's the word. Include that information. So I think that. By the way, we haven't talked much about the sounds. The sounds are pretty cool, to be honest. I really like it. Actually, let's load this like this. For example, on let's go to the effects. Add a gate to that. That's instant AD or hybrid aura. By the way, I'm not really sure what this analog button is doing. I think it's kind of like emulating analog drifting. Yeah, it kind of messes the rhythm. And you have that available for most of these filters. That's something where a manual would come in handy to have a better look at that. Yeah, I mean that gate is like it's like an envelope that you put on top of your sounds, but instantly makes it more usable for rhythmic embeddings and things like that. But yeah, let's listen to some of the sounds. There's some... I'm still trying to grasp the concept a little of how this whole thing is laid out. Because, again, the Soundpaint engine right now is missing a written manual. So you have to watch a bunch of trolls videos to get the information that you need. And I would have to rewatch the Hybrid Emotions walkthrough video to see if how it's laid out, because I feel that the lowest key from the sounds is like the C3, because below that you have the same sound pitch down. So there's nothing more content, it's just that sample. So let's say it starts here. Hey Tanya, nice to have you around. Thanks for stopping by. So you have a bunch of impacts. With a lot of additional sound sparklies around. Okay, and from this point, so we have C3 to A3. And starting with A3, we are pitching up now. But then we get to the next impact. So I'm not really following with what the reasoning behind is. Some samples are pitched, some are not. So again, this thing would be so more useful if you had like a key range information down here, like a keyboard that like Contact has. Let's quickly compare that. So, okay, now I understand. The octave higher is the same sample with, I feel like, a little more energy, I would say. That's on D3. And that's on D4. D5 has nothing to do with that at all. But it was just coincidence, so D4 sounds like a more intense version of D2, but it doesn't keep going like that. So on D sharp 3, that's a totally different sample, so it's not what I thought. And by the way, if you're interested, you can see the keys that I'm pressing always down here. So for the lack of keyboard. That's for sure. Yes, you can pitch every sound. That's true. So all you gotta do is, yeah. So say we like this sound. Then with a menu down here, you click it and then you say, okay, one note stretch. So now this is... But also, this is not tonal. It's only the sample stretched out on the keyboard. Oh, nice. Where was my 808? Anyway, the thing is, so that's the sample that I... Now it's on A4. But that's not an A, obviously. Sounds like 4 higher. Yeah, it's a D. Again, we are in D. So now we know this is a D. If I play a D now, this gives me a G. You know? So it's not consistent. So if I have a sound where I know the root source, the root Soundpaint, I guess it's trolls. Do we have trolls in the house? Awesome. Good to have you here. So again, with these tonal elements, when I spread it out on the keyboard, I would expect to have the sample back to default. So let's say this hit. So if I spread it out onto the keyboard, I would expect to have that D, which that sample is in, sitting on a D, but it's sitting on an A here right now. So the trolls I was just talking about, the fact I love the hybrid emotions library, but I feel it's lacking a little usability by the lack of information what key all the samples are in. And oh, I'm still here. So some little information if I have, like, say, amazement and hit a drone. I mean, some of these drones obviously are like a little bit ambiguous in terms of key, but if I keep that running, sounds like kind of D minor, D. Dennis, yes, you can pick a sample. Okay, let's say I take this sample. I like that. I spread that onto the note range. So 1 note stretch, assign note via MIDI, this one. Okay, so this is stretched out now. But it's starting on that C6. So if that is a D minor, I would expect to have that root note that I just played now sitting on a D. Actually, just use pitch. Yeah, right. The question is, why do I have to do this? No, of course I would not obsess about it, and it's workable, but you actually did that in older libraries. When I think of the hybrid tools libraries or stuff like that, when you, or I think it was Rhythmic Aura, when you hit a key, maybe it was easier because everything was in D back then, the root, the source sounds. I just something that just I feel could give me more use out of it. When I play key and see down here, okay, that's E minor or that's A minor or whatever, then I instantly know, okay, what do I need to set the pitch to instead of figuring it out myself. Yeah, but let's listen to some more of these sounds from Hybrid Emotions. That is some mean sauce. I like that. And by the way, I mean, we haven't talked about all the effects. So for example, for the gate, you can also set the time it takes for the gate to come in. So when you set that to 16, I think you can also blend it in quietly. No, that's the actual attack of the steps. But you get what this is doing. So it delays the start of the gate. Hey Tashi, what on earth is this thing? We're looking at Soundpaint today, new library by Idea, or new, not library, no, new system, sound universe, whatever you want to call it. Let's look at some of these sounds in the emotions are also sorted by type, like drones and booms. These are actually pitched. Okay, engine. Yes, a new sound engine. Yeah, the main ones are where you have all the samples from the emotion, like love, for example. You have the hits down here, an octave higher. Feels to me like a little more intense hits. With a lot of sparklings going on around the sounds. And there's nothing you can do about these to change, so these are like, at least what I feel, you don't have layers. Like, just use the sparkles without the boom. But you have these lovely, lovely drones on top here. Okay, this is all notes now play the same note or one note stretch. This stretches out the sample on the keyboard. UDS stands for ultra deep sampling. So on the example of the drum, for example, they sampled not only the output of the 808, but as you can see here, the main master out, the main accent out, the individual outputs, and then run it through, I think, 25 different analog chains to give you a bunch of different samples to source from. Let's initialize that here. If you listen to the main 808, that's the main, and individual sounds like this. May not hear the massive of a difference, especially with my keyboards clacking below. But the kick, for example, sounds way different on the main accent than on the master out. And again, when I go back to the program, the warm oomph, I think that is the snappiest 808 snare I have ever heard in my life. That thing slaps in your face. I like it. But back to where we were. So hybrid cinema, again, emotional hybrid sounds, booms, drones, stuff like that. Let's jump on to... Yeah, let's check some of the sound effects. So again, they are very responsive when it comes to any types of issues that you have. So I bought the sound libraries yesterday. I had an issue with the sound effects, for example. It only downloaded the noises types. Quick chat today with the Soundpaint support online, and a minute later my download was running with a missing part. So absolutely amazing, my experience in terms of customer service. Great support there. And I guess, since they released yesterday, that they're very busy with support. So, but credit where credit's due. This was an amazing experience. So, sound effects, beautiful noises is a collection, as far as I understood, from different recordings around the world. And what this allows you to create, actually I want to show you that because there was one patch that I absolutely loved. You can combine these sounds in the engine. So for example, have a piano with some rainforest in the background. That sounds rather lovely. And yesterday when I tried it out the first time, it was really fun to just play around with it for a while. The forest piano was. So that uses beautiful noises, rainforest and the piano. It just feels so fucking peaceful to sit with that piano and just and the same with the storm piano. If you just get out of a divorce or whatever and you feel like you want to kill the world. So the layering with these sound effects is pretty cool. Back to the actual sound effects. Let me reset that here. Damn, now I gotta pee. I mean, come on, this is something that we can always use. For that kind of stuff, I usually jump onto Splice or something. It's nice to have a bunch of that. Sheepdog, that sounds a little bit like the donkey I have living around the corner here. I actually want to try something. So let's say, let's turn off the effects here. I want to have the pure sound. Because again, trolls, bear with me. I mentioned that in the beginning of the stream that I am not totally sure about all the morphing things and how that works. And this is like a let's explore Soundpaint stream. And I explore that at the same time as you do, kind of. Because I haven't gone deep into it. So let's quickly, I have this soundscape here, and let's look for a pad sound from the synth here. Medium soft saw, for example. Let's quickly turn that off. Oh, by the way, this is still set to this. So turn that off. Okay, we have a pad sound. Turn that on. At least bring it to the same key. Or don't even bring it to the same key. Just try the morphing and see what it does. Very strange. Crazy strange. So other way around, sounds like this. Look at that. It's a pretty nice sound. Okay, let's animate the morphing a little. So let's say we put an LFO onto that. If you're not sure what that is, I talked about an LFO in the beginning of the stream. And just do like 5% or something, just a little bit. Then you can see it's going down to this. We need kind of more like a delay here. Let's go with a bucket brigade, ping pong, note rate. Let's go with 8th dotted, a little more feedback. Let's use a different pad here. Let's use the brass sound. Or maybe a different beautiful noise. Let's use California. What does California sound like with a string? So we started from that and had the Pretty cool. Let's go to the programs, check some more of these beautiful noises. Distant fireworks. Oh, I still have this thing on. There we go. That's great for horror scoring. Right there. Wind is noise. Okay. Sound effects. Let's quickly look at the synth. So I bought the... Actually, I didn't plan to get the Jupiter, but I watched Trolls walkthrough and had to get it this morning. Like this. That's pretty nasty. I like that. So much use for that. We had that already. Okay, let's go to the rack a little bit and explore some more of these options. So ADSR, I just want to have that snappy sound. Okay, let's go to ARP. Let's check out some of the ARP settings. We haven't looked at the ARP yet. We have some presets here. That's a little too fast for my taste. Okay, we can do chords. We have different playback modes for the ARP, like as played. So place the ARP in the order of the notes. So then classic up and down and up, random. And we actually need these in between notes as well. So let's quickly paint. Ha! See that? Paint the sound in there. The hold function allows you to let the arp run until you hit the next key. Just moving the mode wheel in between to make it less boring. So you can go... No, actually... Yep, just did that, so you can also... How do you actually stop the running ARP in hold mode? I think there's no way to stop the running ARP in hold mode. Yeah, you can also just click one time and then move your mouse around and draw all the steps without clicking every single one. So that's possible as well. And you can ultra shorten. So, yeah, lots of other features. The analog kind of introduces some drift, which obviously when you have something tempo-based, immediately changes. Kind of introduces some randomization. Let's make that a little bit shorter so you hear the effect better. So, like running out of time, kind of. So, then let's explore some more of the synth sounds here. Because there's some good stuff in there. Check some of that today already. Sorry. One thing that I've found is that some of these presets and sounds are pretty quiet, like... I mean, obviously the filter's off. Okay, they're not that quiet. Sorry, my bad. Filter was down. I love a simple sine lead. Always a great thing. Yeah, what do we have? Well, there's still freaking much stuff in here. There was some bell stuff. I think these one I like these a lot. If you play a wrong note, just play it twice, so it was intentional. I think the feedback lead was kind of like that guitar type. Oh, look at that! The first patch where we have 4 patches loaded. That's pretty cool. That's fun. And I think Trolls mentioned that in a bunch of his videos as well. Isn't it all about just having fun? Mildly spicy. Hands up who grew up in the 80s. So many fond memories. Very cool. I mean, if you're familiar with the history of the Roland synth, this is well, first and foremost, some very nice sampling, of course, but with the engine, I think we haven't even scratched a little bit on the surface of what this whole thing can do in terms of, we are using presets here right now, but when you dig into the parts, like reset everything and start with a where do we have it? Click saw tonal, why not? Okay, now let's go with an open filter pad. Needs some by the way, I think that's a good way to look at it. So if you open, of course you can play that sound right away, just dragging in a part, play, done. But for example, this one, I would love to have a little more release. So in the rack, just put an ADSR and extend the release. So there you go. Now, and then also let's put a little bit of filter on top. Let's go with an analog type filter, a Low pass, not much resonance. Just trying some of the stuff here. So the tone obviously is another like filter type. It gets rid a little bit of the high end there. Let's morph this with something. Let's go with the square here. So the pad influences the sound of the square. What I feel like whenever this morphing is activated, that there's a little noise in the back of the samples. But that doesn't mean it's bad. It's just something that I recognize. Whenever we morph, it introduced that kind of digital noise underneath the samples. Might have to do with the frequency shifting. I'm not proficient enough to know about that for sure. So let's say monoglide, do a little bit of... Xenos, as far as I know, no. It's not a wave shape synthesizer per se. What happens when we make the first one to a guitar? Let's use the guitar here. Or the other way. That's actually fun. Let's put some distortion on top. Effects. Let's distort that baby. Analog distortion? Yeah. Let's morph that full. Other way? No? A little much. I love these icons, by the way. What was it? The scat delay? mean, I think it's just different. It's a different way of working. It's like a sample synth sampler. Okay. Now we know how old I am. Etc. I mean, if you happen to work on the next Bruno Mars record, that's definitely something you want to utilize, unless you have the real thing there. Yeah, so lots and lots of synth stuff in here, and last but not least, I got Palindrome as well for the more hybrid approach. Speed Force. What is the modulation doing here? And you can see what good it does to have all these modulation options in here. Just a slight pitch modulation on both sounds just gives a nice little mean. All right, yeah, the engine is free and the piano that you get with it is free. So that's a nice entry point. But you are right now limited to the sounds that are provided by Soundpaint for the engine. So you can not put your own sounds into it as of yet. It's planned for the next year to add this feature, which would be awesome. I'm a sucker for good pads. I love good pads. I mean, I don't even want to think about what happens when they actually port a bunch of their old or existing 8DO contact catalog into this engine. So just imagine to layer this with the Centauri strings or Adagio and putting the string shorts together with the synth pluck sounds. It just is a universe of sounds that is instantly accessible. And I love the fact that you can combine all these different libraries with each other. So if you want to have, if we go to the part, let's reset the whole thing here. If we say we have this pad, no, this pad. Let's put this Actually, I wanted to check the Rec 1 and Rec 2 stuff. If we go ADSR here and offset this, it's a little long, but let's bring in the piano. Just want to see if I can do that. Piano. Let's go with the player money. And I put that here. So this is actually the number 3 is Rec B, right? Yeah. So on Rec B, I can put... Turn that down, bring that an octave up. That sounds fun. Actually, let's modulate the pitch shift here. Add LFO automation. We go with yeah, I think a sine wave is fine. Full throttle. Destination range from 0 to 12. Okay. Okay, the range is a little much. So let's do it like this. No, actually, yeah, let's do it like this and reduce the amount a little bit. Last but not least, put a compressor at the end. Maybe we can use the belts. Where were the belts? Keys, future keys, keys, unite, keys, delete. Where were the belts from that? Oh, that was Jupiter, I think. Jupiter. Stars of Rise, Perpad, Eat, Click, Brass, Big Square. Where's the belts in here? I know there were the belts. Well, let's try the classic pad. Use search. That is actually... There we go. Well done. Oh, I just realized when you change the part, it resets the rec settings, it seems. At least for rec A. think that would be better like this. Let's put this on mod wheel. Okay, change this. Okay. Yeah, just like they said, a universe of sounds, possibilities. I kind of want to come to an end with that. Let's just take a quick look at the forest piano again, which I really like. It's just a very nice, fucking peaceful instrument. Pretty cool, pretty cool. So, yeah. Trolls, what can I say? Congrats. I think this has potential to grow to something way a lot bigger. I'm really looking forward to more sound libraries for that. I'm really curious, given on some of the comments that I've read on VI and on the Discord server, that this is going to be an ongoing venture and really, really, yeah, how do you say? There's a lot of potential in there. I see some things that maybe can get improved in the future with some usability. My main pet peeve is that I don't see the sample distribution, and that I, especially if you work standalone, that you don't have like a visual indication of the output level, like a little LED or metering section up here that at least shows the output level. I think would go a long way to make it a little bit more usable than it already is. But this is just something minor. Load time is great. It works really, really fast. But yeah, I see a lot of potential for that, and I can't wait to hear what you do with it, with like legato implementation and stuff like that. See how strings will behave with that in the future. It's pretty cool. Is it a game changer? I don't know. That's up to you to decide. I think that it brings a lot of new possibilities to the table, and in terms of playability, and I mentioned that before on the stream, this is hard to transfer through video. The piano itself, the feel, how it plays, is different than what I know from other sample libraries that run in Kontakt or other samplers. It feels extremely responsive. You have nothing to lose. You can head over to soundpaint.com and download the player for free, and you get the piano for free. So just give it a try yourself. I really like it. I dig it. And the effects are great. I love the included effects. I love the modular approach that you can arrange kind of any way you like. And also I have not even scratched the surface what you can do with it. So all in all, big thumbs up from my side. I dig it. It's a great new step in modern sampling and modern tools that we have at our disposal to create music. So thanks for that. And with that, I leave you into the night, into the afternoon, wherever you are. Next week, we will be back with some more streams. A bunch of new libraries have come out, so we will take a look at that. Thanks for tuning in, and I see you next time. Bye-bye.